lunch on KISW, Seattle's best rock. Brought to you by See First Bank, where no matter what you want, See First has the money you need.
Straight up 12 noon, it is KISW Electric Lunch Friday, and we've got our guest star right here in the studio, Mr. Paul Revere. How you
Hey,
doing?
Big Dan, lunch for you, breakfast for me.
Okay, just rolling out of the sack, huh?
Yeah, right.
Still the life of a rock star, huh?
Oh,
Rolling out of
yeah.
bed about noon.
Yeah, well, they rolled me out even earlier today. I got up before the sun came up and had to do a morning show somewhere, and I've since then blocked that out of my mind because I went back to sleep, and I just got up again.
Let's start talking about your early days around here, okay? Because you got a lot of Northwest connections, right? You kind of spent a lot of your early times here in Seattle playing the different clubs and dance halls around here.
Oh, all over the Northwest. You name it. Boy, if I get 20 people and a dog to stop, we'd play. Oh, everywhere. Everywhere. Good old days. Back in the early 60s, there was not a weekend, I don't think, that you couldn't find us within driving distance of Seattle. It was lots of fun.
I didn't grow up here, so I don't know what that was like. What were some of the clubs and places that you'd play?
Well, in those days, it was dance heaven. It wasn't what you call clubs. It was all dances. There was the Spanish Castle was the great hangout. That was out by Tacoma, and of course it's burnt down. It's gone. Parker's Ballroom was great. It's still here.
Yeah, still happening.
Parker's is about the last of that old thing. There was the Target Ballroom. I don't know whatever happened to that. The Lake Hills, which was a roller rink that would transform into a dance place whenever we came to town. And then there was the green something or other out at Olympia. There was Evergreen Ballroom out at Olympia. Right? That's what it was. And I can't remember. There's tons of places that have come and gone since then. But yeah, dancing was big in the '60s. That's Louie time.
For something I read, and I wonder if it's true, were you guys really the first rock and roll band signed to CBS Records?
Oh yeah, they
didn't like rock and roll back then, did they?
No. CBS Records then was called Columbia Records,
yeah.
And Mitch Miller was head of A&R, which means he's head of whatever the music situation there, and he was dead against rock and roll. And the only reason we got on the label was we had a record called Louie that was a #1 record in Portland, Oregon, on a little label called Sandy Records.
Mm-hmm.
And a disc jockey up in Portland at Kissin' Radio was playing this thing, and it just took off, and it just was on fire. And I think they even started playing it up here on that label. But about that time, the disc jockey there, Roger Hart was his name, convinced Columbia Records that this is a #1 record. This is it. This is what's happening. And so it was already cut. All he had to do was just print it up because it was the master was already done on it. And so because it already was proving itself, they went ahead and pressed up Louie. But I think they really thought that it would probably just be a Northwest hit, and they wouldn't have to contend with it in the rest of the country. But it became a classic that just doesn't go away.
We're going to talk a lot more. We're going to give you a chance to pull out some of your favorite records here and everything. But let's play some music, all right?
A Raider song.
Like Just Like Me. How's that?
Perfect.